What's up, guys? Today's topic of discussion is your 2017 goals you should aim to have. So just killing multiple birds with one stone. Normally I use Periscope. I'm using Instagram this time to switch it up. But I have my iPad right here for Facebook, and also have my camera up there, and I also have the mic right here. So killing multiple birds with one stone is how we like to do it. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is me, Juan Pablo from 100% Finance at 100percentfinance.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So I'm Juan Pablo. I'm a full-time real estate investor and online entrepreneur. So now we're going to a new year, right? 2017. So I want you guys to make sure that you have your financial house in order. So we can start first and foremost by creating some goals for you to obtain. You might not be nowhere near these goals, but it's okay. At least you have something that you can now aim for, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into it. So your 2017 financial goals should be as follows. We're just talking about financial goals here, guys. Number one, your FICO score. You should aim to have a FICO score minimum of 720 across the board. 720 for TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, okay? Your debt to credit ratio. That's your debt relative to the maximum limit you have. Your debt utilization, in other words. So in other words, if you have a Bank of America credit card with a $1,000 maximum limit and you have $700 charged to that card, your debt to credit ratio or debt utilization in that scenario is 70%. That's pretty high. The ideal or your goal for 2017 is to have that debt to credit ratio at 30% or lower. Okay? You guys understand that? So FICO score, 720, debt to credit ratio, 30% or lower. Next goal that we have are inquiries. If you have more than 5 inquiries within the past 6 months, as I say in my other videos and recordings, you can be perceived as thirsty to banks, creditors, and lenders, to the point where even though you might have a 720 FICO score, even though you might have a debt to credit ratio of 30% or lower, they may still be hesitant towards giving you the financing that you're looking to receive simply because you have a ton of inquiries on your credit report. And when I say inquiries, I'm talking about hard inquiries. What that means is you actually had someone pull your credit. You apply for financing. So if you apply for so much financing within a short time frame, you can appear to be desperate, aka thirsty, to meet the lenders. And oftentimes as well, guys, it may not be your fault. It may be the auto loan's fault. They may shop you to a lot of different auto lenders, for auto loans I should say, and they shotgun your credit report with a ton of inquiries. So oftentimes it's not your fault, but at the end of the day, you have to get it removed. Let's recap. FICO score, 720. Debt to credit ratio, 30% or lower. Inquiries, 5 or fewer within the past 6 months. So naturally, these inquiries do fall off if they're on your credit report for 24 months or longer. But if a creditor, a lender, sees more than 5 within the 6 months time frame, then you need to get those removed, okay? Another goal, living expenses. You have to at least know your personal living expenses. So everything from tuna to taxes to toilet paper to toothpaste to traveling, you gotta know everything down to a T. How much does it cost for you incorporated to live on a month-by-month basis? So your goal in regard to your personal living expenses is to know with exactness how much it costs for you to live per month. Everything, all of it. That's just your goal, just knowing. That's all I want you to do for that particular item. Just know your personal living expenses. And the last thing I want you guys to aim towards in 2017 to have a reserve for you, your personal living expenses, 6 months. So for one, you have to calculate what your personal living expenses are first and foremost, correct? And then I want you to aim to have at least 6 months. Why 6 months? Just in case, worst case scenario, if you happen to lose your job or some unfortunate situation occurs, an emergency happens, at least you got a hefty reserve at your disposal. At least 6 months. Again, these are goals for you to aim for in 2017. So that means you have a whole year, all right, a whole year to achieve these goals. And I'm a firm believer that you can do it. It's possible. As long as you set your mind towards a definite purpose, towards a goal that is, well, let me say this to you guys. What's the difference between a dream and a goal? A dream relates to the emotional side of things, right? We feel good about it. We feel happy about it. We get emotional about something we want, a desire. However, a goal takes that dream and makes it quantifiable. It makes it measurable so that it could be attainable. So that implies you taking some actionable steps to obtain it. But you can't take actionable steps on something that's not quantifiable, doesn't have any metrics associated with it, has no time frame associated with it, no quantifiable measurements whatsoever. It has to be measurable in order for it to be obtainable, in order for us to take action on these things. So in 2017, December 31st, 2017, that's the cutoff date. I want you to have all these things in place. And we're just talking about your personal finances here. We're talking about your FICO score 720, debt to credit ratio of 30%, increase 5 or less within the past 6 months, knowing your personal living expenses to a T, as well as saving up for 6 months of reserves. Got it? Good. So the next question might be this. All right, Juan Pablo, I appreciate you giving me these goals for 2017, but how in the world will I be able to find this information out? Well, very simple. I'm glad you asked that question. FICO score. Many of you guys might be aware, some of you might not. You know, I have people who follow us at many different levels of understanding, so I like to throw everything on the table, make it as simple, as plain, in layman's terms as possible. Just assuming that everyone is starting from ground zero. So if I say some things, you might say, man, that's simple, man. It might be simple to you because you might have been following me for many months or years. But other people, this is brand new. All right, so I'm gonna break it down. Credit report. You can get it free at annualcreditreport.com. And if you listen to the name of the website, it's annual, so that means you get one credit report free a year. Is that good enough? In my opinion, no. Why? Because you want to monitor your credit on a monthly basis. Why? Because things change on a monthly basis. You might apply for a new loan, get a hard inquiry. Someone might have mistakenly used your credit, and you might have an account that's on your credit report that is not valid. It's not verifiable. You know, you might have a collection if you happen to fall on hard times and so forth. It happens to us all. But you want to be able to monitor your credit on a monthly basis. So the preferred credit monitoring service that we recommend at 100percentfinance.com is privacyguard.com. privacyguard.com. You have a trial membership of like $1 for the first week or so, and then it goes up. It's a low cost, but it's important for you to monitor your credit, again, on a monthly basis. And when you pull that credit, I want you to take a look at it. And starting with your FICO score, I want you to be able to see, am I somewhere close, somewhere near to a 720 FICO score? And if not, it's all good, baby. We all got to start from somewhere. You think this guy, Juan Pablo, started off with a 720? I wish I was nowhere near it. I was in the low 500s. I know what it's like to have collection companies call you all day long asking where the cash at. Obviously, I had the cash and I had to talk to them and I had to save face and pick up the phone and tell them my situation. But at the end of the day, they didn't care. You know, so I understand some of the issues you guys may be going through because I too was at that place in time. But guess what? I ain't there no more. Graduated. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level. And you could be on a new level too in 2017 if you follow these steps that I'm outlining for you guys here today. So order a credit report. And I also want you to do this. What will be found on a credit report? Your FICO score, your debt to credit ratio. If not, you can calculate it yourself, or we can assist you if you apply for credit repair. We can let you know what your DTC is. You'll also find the number of inquiries on your credit report as well. And you'll also be able to pinpoint derogatory items. Derogatory items such as bankruptcies, tax liens, judgments, evictions, charge-off, collection accounts, medical bill. All these negative things that we at 100% Finance can dispute on your behalf if you apply for 100percentfinance.com. You apply for credit repair with us. Okay, we can assist you with that. So you find all those things on your credit report. However, you won't be able to find your personal living expenses on your credit report, and you won't be able to find how much savings you actually need to accumulate within 6 months, right? You won't be able to find that on your credit report either, obviously. So how would you be able to find out your personal living expenses and then how much the dollar amount that you need to save? I'm glad you asked that. Your personal financial statement with emphasis on your income statement. You need to know how much money's coming in versus how much money's going out. It's very important for you. We're not talking about no businesses here. We're talking about you. You incorporated. Why are you, the person who is watching me or listening at the sound of my voice right now? I'm talking about you need to know your personal numbers. Like I always say, how can you expect to manage as well as know the numbers of a business, whether it's real estate investing, whether you have a brick and mortar business, an online company, and so forth, but you don't know your own personal numbers? It's foolish for us to think that. You have to know your own numbers. You have to sweep your own front porch before you sweep someone else's front porch. Do you follow? I'm glad you do. So what I want you guys to do is go to 100percentfinance.com, subscribe to our website so you can get 24 free resources at your disposal. And one of those resources is a personal financial statement. It's a spreadsheet that I want you to open up, go to the income statement, and fill that out. I want you to know how much cash you got coming in, whether it's through your job, a salary, a paycheck, in other words. Also, you might have other income. Some of you guys might already have rental properties, or you might have business income. You might have, outside of rental income, you might have stocks, dividends, portfolio income, and so forth. But I want you to know the total dollar amount that's coming in versus the total dollar amount that's going out through all your expenses. And that's found on your personal financial statement. And in regard to subscribing to our website, we have many other documents, as I mentioned, 24 to be exact. We also have credit repair tips, a business credit ebook, and many other things, okay, that I use on a personal level as well as on a business level for real estate investing. Okay, so I want you to order that. And if you guys happen to need credit repair, even inquiry removal, then we got you. We got your back at 100percentfinance.com. So when you take a look at your credit report and you'll realize, you know what? I'm nowhere near a 720. Don't be discouraged. Don't think for a moment, oh, since I'm nowhere near, I'm not going to try. You know what that is? That's a loser mentality. Are you a loser? Hopefully not. If you believe you're a winner, then act like a winner. A winner thinks like this. You know what? Even though I'm nowhere close to the goal, I'm still going to try. I'm still going to do my best. I'm still going to practice. I'm still going to work on my game to the point that I get closer and closer and closer to my ultimate goal. And that's the same frame of mind that you too need to have. Even though I might be at a 495, nowhere near a 720, but guess what? I'm still going to face the music. I'm going to order my credit report. Yes, I'm going to look at that low FICO score. I'm going to look at these high number of inquiries, this high debt utilization. I'm also going to look at these crazy amount of derogatory items on my credit report, and I'm gonna do something about it. I'm gonna go to 100percentfinance.com, click on the services, go to credit repair, and get free consultation. So that's what we offer at 100% Finance, because our mission is to help you achieve the financial results you're looking for. We want you to succeed financially. So once you apply, we will call you for your free consultation. And of course, we need your credit monitoring service login information from privacyguard.com so we can look at your credit report, hold your hand, and walk you through it and tell you, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what we can help you with. We can help you with disputing these negative items. However, we may need your help doing these other things, such as paying down debt if it's in your financial means to do so, or call your credit card companies and ask them for a credit line increase and so forth. We'll give you the whole plan. So it's all specific, it's all quantifiable so that your goal can become attainable. Got it? The next thing I want you to do, so outside of knowing your numbers, right? As I mentioned, I want you to have a 720 credit score. I also want you to have a debt to credit ratio of 30% or lower, 5 or fewer inquiries. I also want you to know your personal living expenses, how much it costs for you to live per month and have 6 months of savings. So that does require you to take a look at your credit report, apply for credit repair if need be. It also requires you to fill out your personal financial statement and then calculate, okay, these are my monthly living expenses and this is the total dollar amount I need to save up for reserves for 6 months. What's the next thing? Well, after you know that, my friend, the next thing you need to do is get some passive income into your portfolio. And we call this the PILE formula. It's a term that I've coined at 100% Finance that stands for your PI, passive income, exceeding your LE, your living expenses. It's an acronym. Your PI has to exceed your living expenses. So you know your living expenses, you know your FICO score, but do you know how much passive income you need to quit your day job if you choose to? Now, many of you may actually enjoy your 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with that. However, there is something wrong with that if you're working at a 9 to 5 that you don't enjoy. In my opinion, that's a waste of time. If you find no enjoyment, no inner satisfaction from your day job, then why are you still there? Newsflash, we don't live in a communist society. Newsflash, you can actually choose your line of work. Newsflash, no one put a gun to your head and told you, you know what? You gotta work at this job that you don't like. You applied. I said, you applied. That was my southern twang right there. But you are the person who actually applied for that job. Ain't that something? But you're the one who's being like a broke, frustrated chump, who's always broke, living check to check, frustrated, talking about your boss, how much you're being paid, saying you're overworked, underpaid, and so forth, and a chump because you continue to complain and complain and complain, do nothing about it. So in 2017, we're going to help you transform from being a broke financial chump to being someone who's financially free and independent. Because in 2017, you will be taking actionable steps towards obtaining your goal of financial freedom. However, one of those steps you need to do is obtain passive income. So this is what I want you to do in 2017. This is my goal for you, 100% finance goal for you, to get at least one income producing asset. One unit, whether it's a single family home, a condo, income producing asset. Again, it's producing income on a monthly basis in your portfolio, at least one. And I want you, again, to be specific. That's all I'm giving you in this content, right? In this recording, in this instruction. Specifics. Everything had a number to it, right? Everything was measurable, correct? Whether it's a 720 FICO score, 6 months worth of savings, everything was quantifiable. So I'm gonna give you some more quantifiable steps that you can take. I want that passive income, that one unit, to give you passive income of at least $100 per unit, at least. So if you get a single family home, at least make sure it cash flows at least $100 a month. So some of you guys may be thinking, $100 a month, bro, that ain't nothing. It's better than zero. It's better than what you're currently making. How dare you turn up your nose at $100 a month in passive income? Don't act like that, people. I hate when people think like that. They say, oh, like some of my employees when I used to be a supervisor for the government, they'll turn their nose up and say, oh, $100 bonus, that's it? I'm like, ain't that still a plus? Ain't that still better than zero? Isn't that still money that you're receiving without you putting any work in? Same thing like passive income, right? It is income received on a consistent basis. A consistent basis now, which is different from a bonus, but it's income you receive on a consistent basis with little to no work required. I'm like, how dare you turn up your nose to something like that? Now I understand if you were currently receiving $500, $600, $1,000, $2,000 a month of passive income, and then you can be a bit more selective because you have options. You know the game. But if you're starting from ground zero and you have $0 coming into your bank account on a passive basis, you have no right to turn up your nose at that. How dare you even consider that? So at least $100 a month, people, and passive income. And that's predicated upon you getting at least one income producing asset in your portfolio. Okay? So this is what I want you to do. In order to get that income producing asset, the first step I want you to do is write the creed. The creed is as follows. If I don't obtain my first rental property by December 31st, 2017, I ought to be ashamed of myself. I have every resource that I need to accomplish this goal. Therefore, I will accomplish this goal in the allotted time frame. So for many of you guys, what I just stated was being recorded. So you can listen to it again, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook Live, or perhaps even Instagram Live, I'm not sure. Or you can listen to it again on the podcast to get it sink down into your psyche. However, we also have this creed when you subscribe. So again, subscribe. I say I have 24 documents now that relate to personal and business things to help you succeed financially. I discussed about the personal financial statement. The creed is on there as well as the resignation letter. So I want you to complete your creed. If you don't buy your first investment property by December 31st, 2017, you ought to be ashamed of yourself and say the other things as follows. Now I also want you to write your resignation letter 5 years from today's date. So you can pick a date. Let's say 2022. December 31st, 2022 will be your day in which you will become financially free and independent. That's when you're going to turn in your resignation letter. I want you to date it 5 years from this year. Okay, so I would say December 31st, 2022. And if you happen to be listening or watching this recording at a later date, just put it 5 years from today's date. Just be flexible. Okay. So I want you to write this, and every day you walk in your house or walk in your bedroom, because I put this on my bedroom wall, by the way. I actually did this stuff. The same stuff I'm telling you to do, I've done it. And again, I'm 33 years old at the time of this recording, And I have 54 rental units with a 9 unit under contract at the time of this recording. But I quit my day job 3 years ago when I was 30 years old. And I started investing. I bought my first rental property when I was 26 years old. It was a 2-family. Lived in 1 unit, rented out the other. So if you do the math, that's 4 years of investing in real estate. I was able to quit my job. So I spent my latter 20s diligently working on my real estate portfolio to the point where I was 30 years old. I no longer needed a paycheck. No longer needed a 9 to 5. So I'm telling you guys these things, these actionable steps from experience, things that I've actually done, in which I'm instructing you to do so that you too can become like Juan Pablo and the rest of the 100% Finance team. Shout out to Hollywood, Chastity, Janine, Jacinta, everyone else involved, so that you too can be financially free and independent. Okay? So you're listening to someone who's actually done it. These are not theories. They're not hypothetical situations. They're not philosophies whatsoever. And I actually got a comment on YouTube today. One guy put, I don't know who this random guy is. Oh, you just make all your money online. And that's the reason why you do online stuff, because you don't make money through real estate investing. I'm like, again, bro, you don't know the totality of the situation. I quit my day job at 30 years old investing in real estate. This is before me actually getting online. And by the time I quit my job, if you guys are not aware, I was making $86,000 a year working for the government. So my passive income from my real estate portfolio exceeded my paycheck. Do you guys not understand that? Right? So I actually was making the majority of my money at that time, at 30 years old, through my real estate portfolio. Then I quit my job. So I had 30 units. And I said, again, I had 54 under contract. I have 54 in my portfolio now, units, plus a 9-unit under contract, so that's 63. And I doubled my portfolio in 2 years after quitting my job. So I'm still actively investing. Again, I said I have a 9-unit under contract. You know, people make all these judgments, about, oh, you're doing it. I'm like, bro, if it sounds too good to be true, do additional research. You can do it. I'm a big fan and believer in passive income. And if I done it, it's not like I had a super high credit score, as I stated earlier in this recording. I had bad credit too, no money. So if I can do it, you can do it. One of my beliefs is this: financial freedom is for everybody. It's for you. It's for everybody. All right, if you want me to clean up my language, it's for you. It's not for a select few. It's not for that person who has a Ivy League education or that person who grew up in a wealthy household. No. As long as you have the burning desire, we can bring the blueprint and we can help you get financially independent. Okay, so you guys might be thinking this. All right, Juan Pablo, I'm gonna do it. You know what? I'm gonna get that rental unit. You know what? I'm gonna make sure I check my personal financial statement, my credit report, and so forth. However, after I checked out my personal financial statement, Juan Pablo, and also after I checked out my credit report, Juan Pablo, I realized that I don't quite qualify for a mortgage. So what do I do then? Well, obviously, if you're undergoing credit repair, let's say you're doing something proactively towards helping you get qualified for the financing you're looking for, but you may want to also consider applying for a low doc mortgage. Or if you currently have investment properties, you may want to do a refinance and pull out the capital and use that towards investing. Okay? So where am I getting at? If you don't happen to qualify for a conventional mortgage, let's say you go to a major bank like Bank of America or Wells Fargo, there's many other mortgage companies out there who may be a little bit more lenient where their qualifications are concerned, where their underwriting is concerned, in contrast to a major bank, which may be more stringent where their underwriting process is concerned. So in other words, we got you back at 100% finance. If you go to the services, we actually have a low doc mortgage and refinance webpage for you to apply so that you too can at least get some free consultation to see what mortgage products that we may have at your disposal for you to apply. Only thing you have to do is to apply and receive the free consultation. So if you're not at that point as of yet where you can qualify for a mortgage with a major bank, maybe you might want to go with one of our products at 100% Finance and entertain doing a low doc mortgage, meaning it's low documentation. So of course with low documentation you might have, just to be candid and be transparent, you might have a higher interest rate or higher points. But if the deal still cash flows, who cares? Remember, you're not that person who's paying off that mortgage payment. It's the tenant or tenants if you happen to buy more than one rental unit. It's the same philosophy that I have. People will say, hey, well, what about the interest rate? I'm like, bro, I can care less about an interest rate. As long as the property cash flows, and even if the interest rate is 30%, let's say it's through the roof, if I'm able to cash flow off a credit card or a low doc mortgage with a high interest rate, that just makes me a genius. That just makes me an astute investor. That I'm able to cash flow off of expensive financing. And we teach all this stuff at 100% Finance. So, if you happen to firmly decide that you're going to close on your first deal by December 31st, 2017, and you write your resignation letter 5 years from today, December 31st, 2022, and then you say, you know what, I checked out my numbers, my credit report, personal financial statement, I don't think I qualify, apply for low doc mortgages. And also apply to a mortgage broker with a conventional mortgage. So if you don't qualify, maybe there's some steps you could take to get qualified. And then you might also want to consider, well, let's assume, Juan Pablo, that I do qualify for a mortgage or a low doc mortgage. But at the end of the day, I really don't know the how-tos of real estate investing. I don't know how to find a deal. I don't know how to finance a deal 100% finance. I don't know how to analyze the deal. I don't know what to do about the, due diligence period. I don't know about closing a deal. I don't know about managing a deal. I don't know when to sell the deal. I don't know about getting capital from partners and so forth. All of these things we teach at 100percentfinance.com. So we teach these things in a number of ways. Number one, ebooks. Ebooks is the lowest cost, right? And I have a lot of information on there, and it includes